Have you ever wondered why yogurt never tells a secret? Because it might spill its guts. Yes, folks, yogurt's got a lot going on beneath that creamy surface. It's a fascinating world of bacteria, fermentation, and delightful tanginess. And it's not just about the taste. It's a tale of two yogurts, factory-made and homemade. But don't worry, this isn't a horror story, unless you're lactose intolerant. Now that we've shared a laugh, let's dive into the world of yogurt. Welcome to Factory versus Homemade, the Yogurt Wars. You may be surprised to learn that the creamy yogurt you scoop out of a store-bought container starts its life in a massive factory. Gigantic tanks, almost as tall as a 3-story building, are filled to the brim with milk. This isn't your typical Sunday grocery run amount of milk. We're talking about thousands of gallons, enough to fill a small swimming pool. Once the tanks are filled, the milk is then homogenized, a fancy term for breaking down the fat molecules so they're the same size. This step gives your yogurt that smooth and creamy texture we all know and love. Then comes the pasteurization process, where the milk is heated to a temperature just shy of 100 degrees Celsius. This isn't a spa day for the milk, though. It's to kill any harmful bacteria that may be lurking around. But don't worry, we're not antibacteria here. We just prefer the good guys, the ones that give yogurt its tangy taste. That's where the bacterial cultures come in. These bacteria are added to the milk and left to ferment, turning the lactose into lactic acid. This whole process gives the yogurt its characteristic tangy flavor and creamy texture. Finally, the yogurt is cooled and packed into those familiar containers you see on supermarket shelves. And there you have it, a journey from a dairy farm through a colossal factory and into your shopping cart. So, that's the journey your store-bought yogurt takes before it lands in your shopping cart. Now, what if I told you that you could make your very own yogurt at home, and it's easier than you think? Imagine this. It's a lazy Sunday afternoon, and instead of a trip to the grocery store, you decide to embark on a culinary adventure. You're going to make your own yogurt. Yes, you heard it right. First things first, let's gather our ingredients. You're going to need some milk and a yogurt starter. The milk provides the base, and the starter, well, it kickstarts the whole process. Next up, the equipment. All you need is a pot and a thermometer. That's it. No fancy gizmos or gadgets here. Now let's get down to business. Pour the milk into the pot and heat it up. You want to get it to a nice simmer, but don't let it boil. Once it's reached the right temperature, take it off the heat and let it cool. This is where the thermometer comes in handy. Once the milk has cooled down, it's time to introduce our yogurt starter. Stir it in, making sure it's completely mixed with the milk. Then cover the pot and let it do its thing. This is the fermentation process, where the magic happens. Leave it undisturbed for a few hours, usually overnight, and when you lift the lid, you'll find a creamy, tangy, and utterly delicious homemade yogurt waiting for you. Voila! With a little patience, you've got yourself a batch of homemade yogurt. So, we've looked at how yogurt is made in a factory and at home, but how do these methods compare? Well, let's break it down. In a factory, yogurt production is a grand spectacle, with machinery humming and gallons of milk transforming into yogurt. At home, it's a more intimate, hands-on process where you're the master of your creation. When it comes to ingredients, factories often use stabilizers and sweeteners, while at home, you have full control over what goes into your yogurt. You can keep it simple, or you can make it adventurous. As for taste and texture, factory-made yogurt tends to be consistent, while homemade yogurt can vary. But that's the beauty of it. Every batch of homemade yogurt is a delightful surprise. Despite these differences, both methods share the same heart: milk and live cultures, fermented to creamy perfection. Whether you prefer the convenience of factory-made or the hands-on experience of homemade, there's no denying the delicious appeal of yogurt. Let's take a moment to stir up what we've learned today. From the industrial churn of the factory to the cozy warmth of your kitchen, yogurt's creation is a tale of transformation. The key differences? Factories use high-tech equipment, while at home, you're the master chef. Similarities? Both involve fermentation, the magical process that turns milk into this creamy delight. Remember, whether it's factory-made or homemade, yogurt's journey from milk to your mouth is a fascinating one. So the next time you enjoy a bowl of yogurt, give a thought to the process behind its creation.